All right, we're underway. We're here with Coach Ryan Cain, Spencer Aronson, Jeff Hunter, and Nate Siow of Keene State. We'll start with an opening statement by Coach Cain, and then we'll start with just questions for Spencer, Jeff, and Nate so we can get them out a little earlier. And then after that, we'll do questions for Coach Cain. So, Coach, if you have an opening statement, go ahead.
Yeah, just an incredible basketball game. Again, Spaulding absolutely jam-packed and rocking. For us to walk out of our walkthrough today and see the line that we saw, waiting for tickets, selling 600 tickets in 35 minutes, just a really cool experience for our guys and a nice way to connect with the community, going into our game tonight. Just an unbelievable game. Had a chance to compete against a terrific team. That Tufts team beat really good teams this year. They beat the top 3 teams in the NESCAC. Several of those games on the road. They went to Williams, pounded Williams. They went to Middlebury after losing the first game to Middlebury. Beat those guys in what was it, double overtime. I mean, just incredible season for that Tufts team. We knew we were in for a rock fight type game. They're so tall, physical, so intense defensively. That we just thought we had to just keep grinding and try to break them down over time with our quickness and athleticism. We weren't going to do it with size, that's for sure. They're probably bigger at every single position. And I just could not be more impressed. One by Tufts, credit to them on a good year, but just by our guys. I couldn't have been more lifted up by the intensity and focus of our players. Even after Mason fouls out, I don't know if I've ever seen someone more focused than him. That young man, regardless of the circumstance, he inspired me with his leadership on the bench. I don't know if you guys felt that too. And there was other guys, whether it was Jarek, whether it was these guys that are sitting next to me. But just incredible, guys that may not show up on the stat sheet the same way that, these guys do at times. Mason took on the assignment of guarding Thorner and held him to 8 and provided that leadership. Just an unbelievable performance by a number of guys tonight. On top of these guys, just absolutely dominating, controlling the game in so many ways. So proud of our team. Just the culture that we have and the will to win and the commitment to playing the right way and doing the right things possession by possession. I couldn't be more proud of a group of guys. Couldn't have had more fun coaching these guys today and all season long. And just starting. We're just starting here. Hopefully, we have a lot of goals for this program. We haven't reached any yet, but a lot of respect for our opponents and what we've been able to accomplish. It's not easy to do.
All right, questions for the players.
I'll go first. Nate, you had a plethora of clutch free throws down the stretch, and you didn't miss a single one. What goes through your head when you're in situations like that?
I practice free throws before practice, almost every day, and I really just try to focus, and there's really no pressure. I've been in big games and big moments like that before, so I know how to calm myself down and just go in the line and just
Ice in the names.
knock it down.
It's the second time.
Spencer, we talked a little bit after the game about, you said to me that culture is what delivered us today. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Be more specific on what that means to you?
Yeah, just our adversity response. At halftime, even though we were down, we all came together and we were just talking about, we've been in a situation before, we know culture's going to win the game. Just being the greatest teammate to everybody. Farthest guy on the bench, first guy on the bench. And just always being there for each other. Just keeping each other motivated.
Were you chomping at the bit to get even more minutes today, watching the kind of game that your brother was having?
Say that again?
Were you chomping at the bit a little bit more tonight to get more playing time to see the way that Tyler was playing on the court?
Yeah.
That's all good, baby.
Nate, I just wanted to ask you quickly, Coach has talked about you don't have a very high heart rate, so I don't even know if you have to calm yourself down. But it's not just at the free throw line. You play with a lot of composure against pressure and such. Can you talk a little bit about the way that the team stepped up its defense in the second half? You held them to 29% shooting. That was the difference in the game.
Yeah. We really focus on defense. We know we're gonna score on the offensive end, so we really it all starts with me. Once I'm pressuring the ball handler, all the guys follow around me. So I think that's what really separated us in the second half.
You had a couple of streaks there too. You were off for 6 points quickly. You took big men to the basket, and then you were able to back out of that, distribute too. Is that sort of part of your approach? And what are you thinking when you go through those offensive spurts?
Just trying to make a play, just doing whatever it takes to win. honestly, I don't really care about scoring like that. Just doing whatever it takes to win.
What was different about Tufts for you today? I mean, you have a lot of penetration, you were under the basket a lot, other than their size. I mean, was it just their work ethic too, their defense? What was the biggest hurdle challenge for you today?
Oh no. It wasn't, I don't say like, it wasn't really no challenge, I guess. Like, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't really no
Just another
challenge.
day at the park.
Yeah.
Ryan, and this probably is for Jeff too, but first to you. Jeff picked up his third foul with 16 minutes left in the game. There was no hesitation. There was no talk among coaches about taking him out. He's played all the minutes of the game. He didn't make another foul all the rest of the game. He actually willed you guys to win on his back offensively. Was that a strategy coming in? Why did you not take him out even for a minute?
Yeah, it's generally been that way all season. You know, there may have been, you know, if we have a lead or something, there may have been some times that we've pulled him in, not played him with fouls. But, you know, he's shown the ability to play without fouling. And in fact, it seems to be some weird thing where he gets even like mentally sharper and more crisp defensively and more disciplined. You know, I thought there were a couple plays early in the game where Jeff wasn't the most disciplined player defensively. And then as he got more fouls, he actually played more and more disciplined, which is a bit unique. You know, I'm not sure every player, you know, responds that way. Some guys get tight. He stays tough. He stays physical. He still continues to contest shots. I think he may have given up one basket, but it was absolutely the right basket to give up. But other than that, like, we don't see a defensive weakness as Jeff plays through fouls. In fact, at times I think we see him step up. You know, the Middlebury game was the perfect example. And really, I think, put us in position to play him with fouls with some confidence. You know, he picked up 2 within the first 4 minutes, very similar to tonight. We played him a lot in the first half tonight. Obviously took him out in a stretch here or there. But second half, you know, just knowing what we've been through and his ability to stay composed, stay controlled, be disciplined, and not foul. He's done it all year, and he continued to do it tonight. Just really proud of his effort.
Jeff, we've talked a lot, and it's pretty clear you've had a sour taste in your mouth from the last game of last season, probably about a year ago today almost, right?
364 days.
Yeah, there you go. So I knew it was close. But I mean, so that's sort of lurked and loomed and been there for you. Part of that's gone, but can you talk about, again, the motivation of that to where you are today for this game to get beyond this point?
I mean, it feels good to get past this round. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like we've all talked about, I mean, Sweet 16, it's a stepping stone, but it's never been one of our goals. We want to win a national championship, so that nothing will change in my mind until we win that national championship. It feels great to move on past the round that we worked on, but the only thing that it shows is that our program has changed drastically. I mean, everybody has the same goal in mind, and you know, we could be all celebrating, cheering, but like I think everybody's realized, like, hey, we're moving on. We got another week to play basketball, so that's at least where my mindset is. I know Nate, Coach Cain, Spencer, everybody else on the team is the same way. I mean, we just want to win a national championship, bring it back to Keene. So it just shows that our program's changed a lot drastically, like culture, like we talked about, defensively. It's just
You don't have to play back-to-back games very often. You did here under the most trying circumstances, right? And you played all the minutes that you played.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, a couple of critical timeouts that you could get a blow, but I mean, how did you manage that? All the minutes.
You don't even think about it when you're out there. I mean, we all go out there to compete every single day. I mean, you ask me that question, but I'd rather ask Nate that question. I sit there and watch him after playing full court defense the entire time. And I'm like, oh, I would be dying if I did that. So, Nate.
We have time. I have a time for a couple more questions for the players.
I got one for Spencer. Obviously, you got to play against your brother today. You got to see him get his 1,000-point live on the same court as him, of course. Just talk a little bit about what it was like to share the court with him and see that milestone.
It was definitely a crazy experience. And we'll remember it for the rest of our lives, I'm sure. Proud of him that he got it, but after he got that, it was time to win. So we put on the game helmet and we had to win. But it's definitely sad. I definitely feel bad for him. It's bittersweet, but we're moving on, and he's got to pass the torch Sunday. So
Today was the day.
Today was the
He
day.
passed that torch.
Pass that torch.
Any more questions for the players? All right,
Everyone ask
guys.
my questions.
All right, guys, thank you very much. You can head out the door.
Yes, great job, guys. Great job.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Great job. Great job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good job, boy.
Great.
All right, questions for Coach Cain?
Yeah, I got one. What's the turnaround like? You know, you win this, you move on. What's the turnaround for you and the guys being in a good mood right now, and then quickly, like, who's next? What do we have to do to keep winning?
Yeah, honestly, I think what I probably have to do is, more than anything, help these guys enjoy the moment. You know, we have to appreciate, it's hard to advance. You know, it's hard to win a 2-game tournament. You know, it's, Paul mentioned the back-to-back situation. It is legitimately something we've talked about ever since we lost that game. You know, last year we'd have a chance to play back-to-back. We played back-to-back once this year, and I thought it was probably our best performances that we stacked against each other. You know, and it's not easy to do. You know, these are the best teams in the country. They're here for a reason. They play the best basketball. And for us to perform the way we performed, I couldn't be more proud. It's legitimately all we've talked about all season long, is playing our best on back-to-back nights against the best teams in the country, and I thought we did exactly that this weekend. So I honestly think more than anything, I have to help them enjoy it, because I think they're so focused on our goal that honestly they don't take a step back and realize what they've accomplished sometimes. So I think it's something you want to appreciate the moment tonight, and then we'll have an off day tomorrow, so we get to relax. I think a couple of those guys' bodies could very much use it, and it's likely tomorrow that we move on as a coaching staff and really start getting prepared for next weekend. You know, we'll have a goal of going to win 2 games and advance to Fort Wayne, Indiana. You know, we know how hard it's going to be. We know how tough it's going to be. We know how good these teams are that we're going to play. But our goal is going to be to go win 2 games.
Ryan, their bench outscored you 36-6 today, so you obviously had a tighter core that you went with. All those minutes that we talked about, was that a product of how the game developed? It went to that, or was that more strategic going in?
Both, yeah, both. I think you saw it at the end of the Conference Tournament Championship game. You know, where we tightened that rotation a bit at the end of the Conference Tournament Championship game, and kind of went with the guys that are older guys that have been there, that have done it. And I thought we did, a similar thing tonight. You know, we trusted those guys that have been around that long, that have really helped elevate the culture of the program to the point it is now. You know, we probably could have gone to those other guys. I don't think it's, a knock on them at all. It's just you trust the guys that have just worked so hard to get to where we are. It's almost that reward for everything they've done over the long time that they've spent with our program. So it was a little bit of a, decision going in, but it was also just a feel of the game. You know, that game was a rock fight, and you get the sense. I mean, even though like the shooting percentages in the first half, I believe they were actually pretty good in that first half, but you could start to feel the defensive intensity and energy ramping up for both teams. As we did it, I thought we did it to start the second half, and you could feel them in that next 4-minute segment do the exact same thing and ramp it up on their end of the floor, and it was like, oh boy, here we go,
What does it mean to beat a battle-hardened NESCAC school team like this in this moment, in this setting, for the program, but also for the confidence of this team going forward, because it only gets tougher, right?
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of pride in being able to compete against the best. We think we can win multiple ways. We've been fortunate to have opportunities over my time here at Keene State to play 3 different NESCAC teams in the tournament, and our guys have found a way to win all 3 of those games. It's a testament to the guys in the program, the toughness of the guys in the program. And all 3 of those teams, I think, are as good as a team as anybody going to find in the country, right? Whether it was Amherst, whether it was Middlebury, or whether it was Tufts tonight. I think that is an incredible team that had a chance to advance in this tournament and make a run. I think they have the pieces to do it, the size to do it, the talent to do it, the toughness to do it. So it means a lot to be able to stack ourselves up against a team like that. But each game's only going to get tougher, right? As you advance, every team's that much more battle-tested and hardened from their experiences, and you're going to have to continue to take big steps forward if you want to continue to be successful.
We have time for one more question for Coach Cain.
So, you guys have just played 2 back-to-back games here at Spaulding Gymnasium. Now you say that you might have to go to Indiana. Do you worry that they might have gotten a little bit used to the hometown crowd? And if so, how much do you think that's going to affect them in the next game?
I don't think, obviously, it's nice to be at home, and I don't mean that in a way like there's no impact of playing at home, but I think the focus that our guys have while they play will minimize that, if not neutralize the fact that we're on the road. Who knows? Like, we're going to see how these games play out the rest of the day. Obviously, there's a slight chance that we could end up here. I think it's kind of a long shot, but there is a chance. But our guys, when we won the championship and talked about it, everyone was like, it doesn't matter where we play. There was a preference, of course, to be here and of course to host, and there was excitement around it. But it was wherever we go, right? Like, the mission is the mission, the job is the job, and it doesn't matter if it's in Keene or on the road. There's a different benefit to being on the road. You get out of class a little bit. You get to be together in a hotel. You get to eat meals together. It's a little bit different of an experience, and if that's what we get to experience, then great. If we get to experience being here again, that's even great too.
All right.
Next site's announced on Monday.
Yeah, we'll probably have a decent feel based on the results of these games. If Swarthmore wins, I would say it's very likely that we end up at Swarthmore.
We'll see what happens. Coach, thank you for your time today.
Thanks a lot.
Lead.
Appreciate it.
Gets it to go. And now with just 2 seconds left, it looks like that's going to be the ball game, and it is. The Keene State Owls are going to the Sweet 16. They win again on this home floor against the Tufts University Jumbos by the score of 77-72. What a season this has been, and it'll continue for Coach Ryan Cain and this Owls squadron.